Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is D Free and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video in which today I will be giving you guys a review for Dragon Ball Super episode number 31. The episode was hype and not the reason that you guys would think so, because I have been personally waiting for a Jaco-centric episode for a long time and we finally get it, so forgive me if I forget anything, but it was just really fun seeing Jaco, and I would not mind him getting like a special or, you know, a manga anime adaptation for his manga that he had. If you guys haven't read that, Jaco the Galactic Patrolman. But anyways, the episode starts off with Jaco heading to Earth at the request of Bulma in the last couple episodes or whatever it was, and he's just pissed off that he has to go. He's like, every time Bulma gets involved, you know, shit doesn't go right, and he's pissed off. So to alleviate his stress, he puts on the freaking goggles or whatever, and he goes into blaster mode in his spaceship, and he shoots at an asteroid, and he totally misses, and he hits a national monument, a space monument. And then at that point, the Galactic Patrol is like, oh shit, the shit blew up, and they're contacting him because he's the closest one, and he's like, oh, Geckoman did it, because at the time he was watching a video on a little monitor with a criminal that the Galactic Patrol is hunting down called Geckoman. He's a frog, so he's like, oh, he did it, so I'm gonna go ahead and pursue him. They're like, okay, so he's just pissed off. He's pissed to the top, you know, the highest degree of pissed. And so he arrives at Earth and he's just completely pissed, and he doesn't want to do anything with Bulma. He's like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. And so she tries to flirt with him, you know, like only Bulma does, like only Bulma can do. You know, she tries to put the charm on him, and he's like, oh, did you really think, you know, a trick like that would work on somebody my age? And then she just fucking smacks the shit out of Jaco. And Jaco probably got hit about 3 times. And so what happens is, well, 3 times during the episode, but what happens next is she's getting in the ship, and Vegeta, he's like, hey, Jaco, don't try no shit with my lady, yo. He's like, don't try anything funny with my lady. And Jaco's like, he looks at Bulma, and he's like, what, me? Like, that? Like, no. And then he gets hit again by Bulma. Jaco is such a savage, yo. And it was funny, too, because Vegeta is, like, such a different character. If you guys haven't seen my video I did with the Frozen Particle and Real to Real, you guys should go check it out, because we talk about Vegeta's character progression. It was probably uploaded, like, last week. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. But we talk about his character progression, how he's changed. Like, it's cool to see Vegeta being more caring, you know? Like, they never had these moments between him and Bulma in Dragon Ball Z, and he would never say no shit like that in Dragon Ball Z, you know? So that's awesome. So Bulma and Jaco head off to Zuno's planet, and they make it over there, and it turns out they have to wait 7 years to get a reservation to actually get their questions answered by Zuno. But as they arrive, Geckoman is there, and Geckoman is Jaco immediately recognizes him, and Geckoman recognizes the Galactic Patrol symbol on Jaco's shirt, and Jaco is like, oh shit, if I capture this guy, I can't blame him for the monument. But, you know, at that point, Bulma's giving up hope, so he's like, fine, whatever, I'll do it. And he captures him, and Geckoman gets the Zuno's attendant there. He's holding a gun up to his head. He gets him, and he's like, oh, Jaco's like, oh, okay, I'm calculating the distance between you and me, and I'll get to you before you can actually release that gun. And Jaco goes savage on him, kicks his ass, literally before he can shoot the gun. So they get their wishes, and Bulma gets 3 question/wishes. Jaco gets 1. Jaco's is to see Bulma's breast size, and Zuno is able to tell exactly what it was. But the funny thing is, he was like, you know, they got a little smaller because her tits have fallen. So for the rest of the episode, they refer to her as the one with the fallen tits, you know, with the saggy tits, yeah. So that was really funny. And Bulma essentially asks Zuno all about the Super Dragon Balls, and they gave me clarification. It must have been really bad fan subs. As a matter of fact, this episode had really shitty fan subs. I'll have to watch another version at some point, but they gave me clarification. Between the 2 universes, there is 7, which is what I thought it was, but the last like episode or 2 episodes ago, it completely confused me. If you guys didn't see my review for that, you should check it out. I was completely confused. I was like, wait a minute, so there's 7 in each universe? Wait, what's happening? So there's 7 between the 2, as I thought, because they're twin universes, and they're looking for the 7th one. She also wasted 2 of her wishes on like questions she didn't know that he would even answer and count as question wishes. So they leave, and at this point, I actually missed something, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. On the way to Zuno's planet, Jaco and Bulma get into a little bit of dialogue, and he's like, you know, he's like, well, screw you. He goes savage. He starts flying hella fast. They get, you know, car or space sick, if you will. And he was like, you know, as a kid, that wouldn't have bothered you. And they flash back to Bulma as a kid learning to fly Jaco's spaceship, and she's like a freaking toddler, and there's tights there. That's directly from the manga. Whenever tights was leaving with Jaco. So once again, you guys should read that manga if you haven't done so already. But you know, she's just flying it, and it's like, oh, she's a genius. And he was like, the way you were flying, I thought you would have joined the Galactic Patrol at some point. And Bulma says that she's completely content being Vegeta's wife and Trunks' mother. So that's awesome, you know. But anyways, getting back on track. So Bulma and Jaco head back to Earth. They explain what happened. Goku is talking to Jaco. They're just hunched over, and I'm like, okay. It's almost like they're sharing secrets. And you know, Vegeta asks Jaco if he tried anything funny, and you know, Bulma's like, oh, blushing and shit. So ultimately, she explains to them what they found out from Zuno, and Goku, you know, Jaco takes his leave, and he's like, oh, Bulma, I heard from Jaco that, you know, you have saggy tits. Your tits have fallen. And that was hilarious. So the last thing I wanted to backtrack and mention, too, the last funny part of the episode, this is actually 100% identical to the manga. I actually had a picture of it. It's funny too because the manga and the anime, they're not done by Toriyama. He just tells them what he wants to see done, but I didn't expect it to be on this level to where you can actually match up images of the manga and the anime because they're so identical, because it's not like previous iterations of manga versus anime. It's not source material versus adaptation. They're both an adaptation of a specific source material that we haven't seen yet from Toriyama. And what I'm talking about was the scene where Jaco and Bulma are leaving. Once again, I'm backtracking. Vegeta's like, she's strong-willed, and then Goku's like, yeah. And Vegeta's like, hey, I don't mind. You know, us Saiyans need strong-willed women. And Goku's like, yeah, that's why I like Chi-Chi. And Piccolo's in the background like, oh, I finally understand why they like those two. He's just like completely baffled. And, you know, that's the exact same shot from manga chapter 6, I believe. So I thought that was awesome. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know your favorite part of the episode. I know I've been talking at 100 miles per hour, but, you know, I had to get this shit out. So I will see you guys in the next review next week. That is it for me. Subscribe if you're new here. Be sure to leave a like down below in the video.